Japan. I'm coming back to you. There in old Japan, you'll make.
And welcome back to the Nihon Madoguchi Podcast with your hosts Domo and
Marty, how is it going, guys? Everything all right? Tomo, long time no see, eh?
long time no see indeed. As you can see, we're still wearing the same
Nah, I
shirts,
changed,
but hey,
I changed mine.
oh, oh no, I fucked up the continuity of the podcast. Hey, Dragon Ball all day. It's the
Yeah,
second time I'm wearing it. No one will know. Um,
could
but
be a
yeah,
running joke
we're here
that
to
you
talk to you guys. Yeah,
you keep the same T-shirt every time, so that's we don't know when we record the stuff.
honestly, I might as well. I might. I'm thinking about getting one of the. I was talking to Marty kind of off camera, but I'm thinking about going to the Uniqlo and getting some of those T-shirts that he has. They're looking quite snazzy, and I need to have them. They have a Daima collaboration going on, also a Dandadan collaboration going on.
Yes,
That's news
yes.
to me.
They
Yeah.
they
So.
started the Hatsubai, so their selling started 2 weeks ago. We are recording on the 5th
Mm,
of March, so it started mid-February, and they have
mm.
4 or 5 different designs for Dandadan as well. I mean, I love UT. I love Uniqlo UT so much so that I have more T-shirt that I can wear in a year probably. So I have so many.
Jeez.
Uh,
Yeah. I want more shirts. I do want. I also have a lot of just shirts, but
mm,
I would love to have more Dragon Ball and anime. Just shirts in general.
right.
Um, a lot of the shirts I have now are shirts that I bought years ago.
Mm,
Haven't really bought too many new anime merch, new anime shirts. So I need to
yeah.
update my wardrobe here soon. Yeah.
Right. What is cool about what at least what I like about UT is that usually they put some effort and some work into the design of many of the t-shirt they do.
Mm,
Some of them are cringy, but most of them are quite well balanced. It's not like
mm.
everything scream geeks or nerds all over the place. Although it is funny, but depending on the context, you don't want to be that loud with what you're wearing. But
Yeah.
overall, their design they're always pretty smart, and they like to. I like how they present things. For example, here we have like a Final Fantasy T-shirt, and it's not too much.
Ooh.
Yes, it's Final Fantasy 12 actually.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's like the bad guys from the game. And but it's not
Mm.
like too much in your face. If you don't pay close attention, it's not super evident that you're wearing like a geeky t-shirt. So yes,
I see. Yeah, honestly, I haven't played in many of the Final Fantasies. Maybe only one, and I barely remember that. I'm not too big on JRPGs and
oh
RPGs in general. Uh, I'm more of a FPS, fighter, racing game kind of guy.
right.
Maybe some. I do like to play. Um, some Sonic, some Kirby, things like that. But that's probably the extent of my single player things. I like to do a lot of multiplayer,
Nice.
play a lot of multiplayer
Mm.
games. And I was looking at your shirt, and it like from here, it just looked like a really cool like shirt like of like some knights
Yeah.
or like some maybe it's like a Renaissance piece or something like that. I was I don't know what this is, but
Mm.
it looks cool. Like, I mean
Thank you.
like little I'll say Renaissance, yeah. But it is I wouldn't have been able to tell just at a glance that it was a shirt from a game,
Right,
or
right.
these are characters from a game. Uh, Now someone who's probably played the game may be like, "Oh yeah,
I know that.
that's Final Fantasy," but yeah, but to the untrained eye, such as
Mm.
myself, it looked like a cool shirt, but I wouldn't have thought anything. I wouldn't have thought it was from anything.
Right.
Uh, personally,
Mm.
yeah.
That's why I bought it as well.
Yeah, I mean, you guys like you gotta listen to Marty
Mm.
when he's giving you guys recommendations on
No, no,
shirts
no, no,
because
no, 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 no,
you
no,
know
no.
he's quite in my opinion I think he's quite fashionable. Shout out
No, no,
and
no way, no way. As I was speaking to you, I was telling in the previous episodes is that I don't like lousy and really mainstream things too much, so that is why
yeah.
I prefer a plum blossom over sakura blossom. And for the
Mm-hmm.
UT t-shirts, is kind of the similar feeling of I don't like wearing too much in your face t-shirts. I like more like
Yeah.
some more subtle designs, and that is
Mm-hmm.
why most of the time I quite enjoy the UT collections. Sometimes they are so much in your face that I don't buy them. They had a recent collaboration with One Piece, and
Mm.
unfortunately, most of the design were too much. Let's
Yeah.
say so. But I still bought one, but I cannot wear it here because it's on the back, unfortunately. So, as we
Ah.
said in a previous episode, it's not like I can do the episode like this.
Yeah, just facing backwards. Yeah. I maybe as I've grown older,
Mm,
I've my tastes have changed. But I could still rock a very flashy anime T-shirt. Uh, like even this here, it's quite big and in your face. Like
right.
it's
Yes.
it's Goku doing the
Mm,
punch through Piccolo, King Piccolo back in the Dragon Ball days,
right.
and it's huge, and I love it. But
Mm,
I do like I do like the shirts that are very simple. Like they just have just a nice little design, boop right there, and no one. Some people may not even notice it. I mean, they can see the design, but they won't know that
right.
it's like you said, it's from anything or it's not super flashy.
Mm,
Uh, I can see the appeal in the subtle not flashy shirts, but I also do like I want people to know that I'm wearing a
proudly.
proudly I'm wearing a Dragon Ball Daima,
Mm,
shirt or whatever, or that I'm
yeah.
wearing a Don Da Don hoodie,
Mm,
and sometimes that sparks conversation as well. If you're one
mm,
to enjoy a random conversation with a stranger who has similar interests. I've had people, usually usually older Japanese men,
yeah.
come up and talk to me about a lot of my about like Dragon Ball, stuff that they know about, right? They're like, oh, Dragon, Goku, yeah, go,
I
yeah. I'm
mean,
like, yeah, yeah. A lot of them I've only seen up to Dragon Ball Z.
right.
And it is
But
what it is, but
do you
yeah.
want to feel old, or do we want to make our audience feel old? Um, do you know that a kid in Japan that watched Dragon Ball for the first time when he aired is now in their 50s? Yes, I'm sorry for that.
Ooh, yeah,
They're close to retirement when the kids that
yeah.
watched Dragon Ball
And
for the first time, yes.
so when they see a shirt like this, they'll be like, "Oh, I watched that on television when I
Yeah.
was younger." They probably haven't watched any anime since then, but they've
Probably
watched
not.
Dragon Ball. And most people have seen Dragon Ball, right?
Mm,
And it's the OG. Um, Now if you want to get like you know get some like build some what do you want to call it, some oh, what's the word? I'm blanking on the English. Build a relationship, or even get to
mm,
get the younger audience's attention,
yes.
the younger Japanese people. you gotta get some stuff that's more modern. Maybe
Mm.
even One Piece. One Piece is still going, right? One Piece is huge in Japan.
Yeah.
I think most people have seen One Piece in some shape or form or reading it. So most people probably see it. I, for one, have not seen. I've only seen a little bit of One Piece,
Right.
and I would say, I think it was like last week. I had Marty explain to me like the world and how
It's quite
where I was like,
huge.
where is the One Piece? Like it, I like they're traveling along one strip of ocean, and but they come in from here through a mountain out and around, and I'm like, they still haven't found it yet. I mean, I know you got to go around the world. I'm like, the One Piece is probably somewhere on one of those islands, right? He was like, we don't know, but
We
yeah.
will
So
know.
I know next to nothing. I know next to nothing about One Piece, and so you probably won't see me wearing any One Piece merch, but there's another. I don't think. I wonder if they would even have any like shirts or any hoodies or anything, any like merchandise for this one. But there's a very popular anime, even like on Netflix. I think it's even popular in the States,
Hmm.
called Apothecary Diaries.
Oh.
And it's I can't imagine what a Apothecary Diaries shirt would look like.
Hmm.
uh, but that's popular with the kids. So much so that I think I was giving a presentation at a school once,
Right.
and I was telling them my interests, my hobbies and whatnot. And at the time, I was watching Apothecary Diaries, so I put just like a PNG, Apothecary Diaries, like
Mm-hmm.
the cover manga on there. And when I got to that slide, it was like, oh, Suriano Hitorigoto. I was like, oh, you guys know about this? They're like, yeah. I was like, okay. I didn't know it was that popular. Like the kid,
Right.
they love Apothecary Diaries, the Suriano Hitorigoto. So just wearing something more modern.
Right.
I think going to Uniqlo is the way.
It
They got
is.
all
It
the
is.
collabs. Pop in there and you just get something that they're working on now. Because usually it's probably like something that's hot and in right now that they're collabing with Daima. And
Yeah.
Daima just ended. I think the
Mm-hmm.
last episode just aired. I'm going to finish it. And Don finished last season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So it's something that's like in the zeitgeist, right, of the
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
current talk of the town. Usually, what do you find at Uniqlo?
I think they did something similar for Attack on Titan, close to the release of
Mm.
the. I don't remember if it was after the last season aired or if it was before the movie. Like there was a movie
Yeah,
release.
yeah, yeah. It
So they
was
did. Did you watch it? Maybe.
I'm pretty sure I did.
Oh, nice.
Um, because maybe I didn't. I
Mm.
don't know. I don't remember, but I know I've seen the ending of Attack on Titan. Now, if the movie was like a yeah,
No spoiler.
if the
It is a
movie was
spoiler-free podcast.
of course, no spoilers here.
We won't say
But I'm
that
not sure
Darth Vader
the
is
movie. Yeah,
the father of Luke Skywalker. That
Father.
we won't say it in this podcast.
We won't. And we definitely won't. Talk about how Goku. Discovers he finds all seven Dragon Balls. We won't talk about that here.
No, no.
Yeah, yeah.
Multiple times? No, no. We never said that.
We never.
Did you say
But
Krillin dies twice?
I think Goku dies three times. I don't. I don't know. Maybe I don't. He
Maybe
dies
twice.
once, twice.
If you don't count the spin-off. If you count the spin-off, then twice.
Yeah, yeah.
Good question.
Uh, Boo, he's alive. Yeah, true.
I mean, he dies. He dies when he's killed by Piccolo,
Yeah,
and so we were talking about
he dies twice. Yeah.
spoiler-free podcast, right?
Yeah. Exactly, exactly.
Right.
You won't get any spoilers here.
No, no, no.
Uh, but speaking of spoilers,
Yes.
not a great segue, but our
Here,
topic of the day.
here you can see the. It's not very visible. Let me grab it for you. I will show it more properly. Uh,
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
so as you can see, I have some Hina Matsuri. They are, yeah, that's very, very nice. I was gifted, my mother-in-law gifted me this ceramic
Wow.
Hina Matsuri, and for the time being, I'm leaving them here,
Yeah.
but I will need to. I should have already put them back because it's not good omen to leave Hinamatsuri out of their boxes after the Hinamatsuri day. Did you know that?
Interesting. Who knew? I had no clue. So to our audience, who aren't, they may or may not know what the Hina Matsuri is. Uh, so the Hina Matsuri is happens on the 3rd of March every year, three
Yes.
three. Um, and it's I think it's also known as Girls' Day.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Correct.
And yes. And you typically you tend to see these like Hina dolls uh
On
all over the place in
display.
Japan.
Yes. On
Uh
display all over the
on
place.
display, right? Now I'm not the biggest I don't have such in-depth knowledge of the Hinamatsuri.
Right.
But if I'm not mistaken, so usually there's like two like larger Hinamatsuri dolls. I think
Yes.
there might be smaller ones. Don't quote me on that. But
Hina
my
dolls.
understanding is the one Hina dolls, right? My understanding is one is the Hina doll for the emperor, and the other is the Hina doll for the empress. And they're supposed to signify some have some
Well.
significance. Yeah. Oh,
Well. Recently,
is that
even
not is that not that's not the answer? Yeah.
it's almost true.
Almost. Okay,
Almost,
I was
almost.
halfway correct.
Oh, yes. So actually, recently, even in Japan, the most popular narrative is that they represent the emperor and the empress.
Okay.
However, some
However,
researcher actually say, based on the features of past Hina Ningyo, they are
yeah.
suggesting that rather than the emperor and the empress, they represent just two courtesans of the emperor surrounding. So they are not the emperor and the empress, but they are actually two very highly ranked courtesans, but
Yeah.
they don't represent the emperor and the empress. It may be that by during the modern period of Japan, when Japan became an imperialistic state and the role of the
Mm.
emperor became more and more prevalent within society and within the overall building of the country, then there was some association between having the emperor on display and having the courtesans on display. But actually, yes, they technically they probably are not the emperor and the empress, but they have all the servants and all the like
Yeah.
the full panoplia for Hina Ningyo
Yeah.
is divided in, I believe, 5 or 8 steps depending on how wealthy you are.
Mm.
Yes, and then you have like the retainers. Then you have like the women that help the courtesans.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the men working outside of the palace and in helping also the courtesan. Then you have some toys as well. So it's quite meant to represent how back in the old days the social life was structured into a high ranked courtesan of the day.
Mm. Interesting.
Yes.
So, like you mentioned, I had completely assumed that, or maybe was even taught that it was the
Yes.
emperor and the empress. Um, and it makes sense if you consider what the day is for. It's for girls' day. So, to have two courtesans,
Mm.
two women
Oh no
as
no
the
no, sorry sorry
dolls
sorry
in
sorry.
the
See,
display.
it's a man and a woman actually. It's not so yes sorry.
Oh,
Courtesan is
okay,
not in the sense of two women actually. No 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 no. So in
okay,
nobles
okay.
as in aristocrats as in noble people. Sorry.
I
So it's
see.
a man.
No, no,
It's
no, no,
still a
no.
man and a woman, but they are like they're
Okay,
not the emperor, but they are nobles, aristocrats, very close to the emperor, and it's still a couple. That is very important because
okay, okay.
no 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 no.
No, so I was actually gonna finish that off by like, okay, it
Yeah,
makes sense. But normally, like, you see like one is dressed clearly in
a man. Yes, yes,
like
yeah.
kind of like men, yeah, man
Yeah,
clothing,
yeah.
men's wear, and the other one isn't. So I was like, and so what's going on there? Okay,
Yes, yes,
so
yes,
yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. So it's not the emperor and empress, but it is two people, a couple,
yes,
um, high ranking couple.
yes.
And I wonder, and if you don't know, that's okay.
Right.
Um, like the origin of the Hina Matsuri and like
Where
where like the
you
beginning of this, like the use of the dolls
you're
and
lucky.
whatnot. Uh, oh,
You are very lucky because I did do know I do know the origin actually.
please enlighten us, please.
So today it's quite a long history lesson. So bear with us if you want. Um,
お願いします。お願いします。
so everything starts from the Heian period. So from
Of
seven.
course.
What was the date again? 700 to 1180, um, if I remember
Yeah, something
correctly.
like that. It was very long. Yeah.
It was a very long period, and it is when the country and its rituals and all its like calendars, related activity, seasonal related activity, really got codified. With a strong influence from China. So how the year was spaced out. Also remember that they didn't use the Gregorian calendars at the time. They used like the
Mm.
Japanese slash Chinese calendar that is based on the lunar movements. So they have more months than what we have now. It was
Yeah.
20 day based months. Also the months were shorter as well. And around the third month, so at the beginning, in between the beginning of spring, the end of winter, they have all these rituals to change the seasonality. And one of those rituals, it is argued that one of those rituals consisted into making some paper dolls that did not represent at the time yet the emperors or nobles, just
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
human-like figures that they were cut out of paper, and they were used to perform some rituals. And then when the rituals were done, those figures, those paper-based figures, were thrown into a river and thus destroyed, in order to mean that they basically absorbed all the impurity, all the bad influences that may affect the person who made them.
Mm.
And by destroying them, you kind of got rid of these bad influences and impurity. It is strongly related to the concept of kegare, which is impurity, or
Mm.
like it does not have like a moral value like you may have it in Christianity, for example, that you it's not related to sin, but it's more related to the normal accumulation of impurity and dirtiness that piles up in your daily life. And by destroying
Mm.
these puppets made of paper, you kind of got rid of the impurity that you accumulated up to that point, and you could start the new year, let's say the new agrarian year, freshly, and so you would not have bad influences or bad luck or anything that was related to bad things happen to you when the new spring season came. So that is the origin of
Yeah.
the Hina Matsuri. And then, do you have any question up to now before I start talking about the
So
second
no,
part?
no, yeah. So there's more.
There is
Lovely.
there is
No, so
more. There is more.
so right, cutting out the paper, cutting out two just paper dolls, and and using them to purify, your surroundings or and whatnot, and destroying them
Yes,
at the end to get rid of said kegare. Um, I wonder, you may explain this in the second portion, what
sure.
happened to the destroying of the, like, I don't I don't know for sure, but I don't think Hina dolls, Hina Ningyo are being destroyed willy nilly
No, no.
nowadays. So uh, I don't know if you're gonna explain that in the second portion, but if you could, like,
Sure, sure.
when did that become, like, yeah, instead of destroying them, when did it become like we don't destroy them, we just keep them around?
Right. So it seems that until the late Edo period, so the late
Mm.
1800s, there was no shapes like the Hinamatsuri was quite done the old way. So just making some
Mm.
idols out of paper and destroying them. So there was not a codification of this ritual in the modern way. But by the end of the Edo period
Uh,
and the beginning of the Meiji period, so we're talking 1868, around, so in the right in the middle of the 19th
yeah.
century, we started to see appearing some wooden dolls. So they that were not meant to be destroyed, but it was actually a way to display wealth and a way to chime in more with how girls used to play with dolls in general. So it
Mm.
slightly, I mean, similarly to what we were talking about, sakura contemplations, so cherry blossom viewing. In the same fashion, the sacrality, the spirituality, kinda faded down and was replaced by a more entertainment-related mindset. Therefore,
Mm-hmm.
while still maintaining some nuances of spirituality, this idea of dolls, really concrete material dolls, and that's where at the time, so in Meiji period, they were not as fancy as they are currently, but they started to become something that you don't throw away, something that you want to cherish, and something that you want to store. And it is also when the concept behind this impurity started to develop as well. So the reason why I was telling that I should probably put them away now is that even currently you bring out the Hina dolls a little bit earlier than the 3rd of March, 1 week or something. You
Mm.
display them, and
Yeah. Oh.
by yes, you display them for 1 week or something, and then after the third, you're supposed to put them away because it could bring bad luck to the girl that you have in your household. If you leave them out, it means
Mm.
that how true do they believe in that? I don't know, but it is often said
Yeah.
that your girl could not be lucky in marriage and finding love. Similarly to how the
Mm.
dolls are left out and nobody picks them up. Similarly, the girl would encounter the same fate. Yes. So this idea of impurity and getting rid of the impurity has not completely left the Hinamatsuri. Now they simply
Yeah.
store them away, and also to preserve them, because if you keep them out throughout the year, we probably destroy them, or something would happen to them. But they also merge together
Yeah.
the old fashioned idea of spirituality and of kegare with putting them away as a more codified way, yes, to celebrate this festivity, which is not a festivity, by the way, because it's not a festivity. You have to work during Hina
True.
Matsuri.
True.
It's not like you take a
Yeah.
day
Yeah.
off.
Not a national holiday. This is true.
No, no, no.
I am in Japan and we did not get a day off.
Uh,
But
Unfortunately, so.
oh, that's very okay. So I didn't even know that the Hina dolls had, they have this or they're said to have this function of purifying your surroundings and getting rid of your surrounding kegare. Uh, that's cool. I like, I would see them, just out and about, and like part of me was like, okay, they're quite expensive, right? So if you're getting it, it's like okay, display of not display of wealth, but like you have money, enough money to buy a Hina
Yes.
Matsuri sets kind of
Hmm.
thing, right? So I can understand like even in the past if they, became a status,
Yes.
like a sign of like wealth and status and things like
Hmm.
that. Uh, but it is interesting how it went from being just uh paper dolls to then wooden dolls, and like you said, you would, yeah, if the idea was to preserve it or to have it around for a long time, paper is just not going to cut it.
Yeah.
So they improvised and started using more more durable for the time, more
Hmm.
durable type of material
Yes.
that can be stored uh, and play with, and with by little girls. And the idea that you pull out the Hina dolls as well a week in advance,
Something
like
like that. Yes.
all news to me. This is how little I knew about the Hina Matsuri, the Hina
Right.
Festival. I knew it was a thing. I knew it was it's called Girls Day, and it's supposed to
Hmm.
you know you're supposed to be like wish for protection and health for your little girl, your 3-year-old girls
No,
or
no, no.
5-year-old girls.
You're
Okay, that's
mixing.
different. Okay,
You're mixing
okay,
with the
I'm mixing stuff.
Shichiko-san.
Okay,
Yes, that
this is gonna sound okay.
we
Okay,
will talk
yeah, yeah,
about quite, because Shichiko-san is quite late in the year. So just stay tuned for a
yeah, yeah,
couple of
yeah.
down the road.
That'll be another
Mm.
another topic of discussion. Right. That's quite. I've learned a lot. 今日本当に勉強になりました。
そうですね。
Uh,
Actually, it's
I hope you guys learned something as well.
let's hope so. You didn't think I was too boring, because
No,
actually,
no, no.
yes, it is interesting to see that how as soon as they started to take a more concrete shape, like the wooden shape, and they're like a more that they started to become an object that you have to preserve, then it started to get progressively more expensive and more elaborated. So that's
Of
really
course.
once they started to take shape. And nowadays, sets of Hina dolls can be absurdly expensive. Like it's definitely not a gift for the. I mean, it's not like a toy that you play with. It's more like a really something that you put out only for a limited time, and then you carefully store away. You don't want it to be destroyed or to be damaged in any form. Yeah. So
No, that it's the Hina dolls. Like I've only ever really seen them in stores and things like that.
right.
I don't know anyone who has them personally. Um, and I wonder if you have any insight on this. Like because like you said, they can get quite expensive.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's the Hina Matsuri is not something that is celebrated, right? Like you said, it's not like a actual holiday or anything like that.
Yes.
But um, do Japanese people nowadays, uh, who have daughters, families who have
Mm.
daughters, do they like, do they buy a set, or do they just buy like, I don't
Mm.
know if it's possible to buy the main two and just have those in the house.
Ah, yes.
I remember, your host family, they had, some daughters.
Mm.
Um, I don't know if they had any or anything like
Oh,
that, but like if you have any insight on that,
right,
like what current, Japanese families are, doing, and
right.
if they actually use
Well,
these or buy these.
mm, it's difficult to say case by case, of course. So
Sure, sure,
generally,
sure.
it really depends on how the people feel about this culture in particular. For example, for
Mm,
sure, if you don't have daughters, you usually don't put them
yeah,
out. It's something that you
of
you you
course.
put them out when you have daughters. Usually, yes. Generally, it's something. I mean, the proper, very expensive Hina dolls can be quite prohibitive and quite difficult to get access to. But you can have also more cheaper version of the dolls. As you were saying, you can only buy the main couple. Actually, the if you
Mm,
want to have a Hina Matsuri display, they are enough. You don't have to buy all
yeah,
the complete set because it can get very expensive. Even the main two are enough. Usually, what you do
yeah.
is that you not only you display the dolls, but you make some offerings to the dolls as well, some mochi,
Mm,
and as similar to what they do during the New Year. So the proper um, way of displaying them is also giving them some offering, some food related offerings. And I would say it's more of a traditional thing. So people that may not chime
mm,
very well with tradition, or they don't really care about some. It can be old fashioned. They have something. For example, my wife was gifted the Ina dolls when she was young by her grandmother. So
mm,
usually it wouldn't be odd for rather than parents buying the Hina dolls for their daughters, that the grandparents actually buy them. And also Hina dolls is something that is, if done properly, it's not something that you buy, but something that you inherit, like from the older
ah,
generation. Yes, usually they're so expensive that
yeah.
most of them are hand downs. I don't think it is quite
Yeah.
common to. It's not as common to buy them new every time, but rather like something uh,
Interesting. Yeah.
heirlooms. Yes, and you can find some display, some very nice display of Hina dolls around Japan everywhere. It's interesting because quite close to you in Saga Prefecture, actually, it's not Saga Prefecture,
Mm,
it's Fukuoka Prefecture, but very
mm,
close to
yeah.
Saga Prefecture. You have this city called Yanagawa.
Yeah.
Yanagawa is also very quite famous for how they celebrate Hina Matsuri. So if you go there, there is a
Okay.
lot of places where they display the Hina Matsuri dolls, and
Mm-hmm.
also the decorations that goes along with the Hina Matsuri, because along with the proper dolls, you also have some decoration that are made out of toys, some stuffed toys and everything that you put on the ceiling. I think that they
Mm-hmm.
fall down like this. It's quite suggestive as well. So that is also part of the Hinamatsuri. And if you have the chance to go to Yanagawa next year, you may enjoy. It could be a nice date to bring your girlfriend to Yanagawa and then have a nice stroll around and looking at all the Hina dolls in display. And also
Yeah.
famous Hina dolls. You have one very famous Hina doll in Tokyo. In I think it's within the one of the oldest hotels still in activity. It's called Gajoen in the middle of
Okay.
Tokyo. They have like this 100 staircase the old staircase. And
Yeah.
during the time of the Hina Matsuri, they have like all 100. Actually, they're not 199. They're not 100. I've counted them. They were made 99 on purpose. But
Yeah, yeah.
they display the dolls through all the 99 steps. Yes, it's quite suggestive,
It's an
and
impressive display. Yeah,
you need a ticket for that. Actually, you cannot go and check it out for free. You have to
of
take a,
course.
yes. And this is also quite a recommendation for Hinamatsuri if you want to enjoy Hinamatsuri that you are in Japan during this time. I mean, during the Hinamatsuri time, it's really a recommendation to go to Gajoen and just see uh, how they are displayed. Although it's not the traditional way, because the traditional ways has only 5 or 8 steps.
Mm.
You don't usually have 99 steps where you put your dolls.
So yeah, so thank you. That answered my question perfectly. So I guess it just it depends, right?
Yes,
Most people don't really buy the Hina dolls. Kind of summarized. Most people don't really buy them. They're usually inherited. So if
yes.
your mother or grandmother did not buy them already, you most likely won't have them in your house or on hand. You
Yes,
may want to be the one to start the tradition and
yes,
start handing them down, but you probably won't come across many in many Japanese households. Uh, no, that was very very insightful, and the little Yanagawa little information as well. Again, because I know next to nothing about Hinamatsuri, I did not know there was such a big Hinamatsuri,
yes.
kind of culture
Mhm.
surrounding that area, as well as in Tokyo at this hotel,
Yes.
Gajoen, they have Hinamatsuri on 99 stairs.
Mm.
You guys, Marty, he knows all the spots. So
Everything.
this all your information from this podcast and go. You have
Right.
two new places you can now go to. Well, next year because Hinamatsuri is already
Yeah.
finished, but
Yeah. Next year.
next
But
year for sure.
if you want to enjoy Hinamatsuri, actually, I have a very nice movie recommendation. Yes, so that
Please
is
tell us.
actually it's quite nostalgic because it's one of the main reason why I got interested into Japanese culture to begin with. So it's quite a
Ooh.
powerful kikake. Kikake meaning how do you translate kikake in English?
So it's so Kikkake is like how yeah it's
It's quite idiomatic,
so
right?
for example for example, right, you say Nihongo benkyou shi hajimeta kikkake or Nihon ni kita kake, right? Kind of the reason, like
Yes.
what led to you, what caused you to go
Mm-hmm.
from where you were to where you are now.
Right.
It literally, like literally translated, it means cause or reason,
Cause reason.
right?
Right.
But it has like a nuance, there.
Mm,
Depending on what you're talking about, it could be
right.
translated differently. But yeah, cause or reason, I think is a
I see, I
is,
see.
is
So one of the reason I got interested into Japan, so you have this movie, it was released in 1989 or 1991. I cannot recall exactly the date. It's from quite a famous director called Akira Kurosawa. So I suppose you have heard
yeah.
about Kurosawa. And the movie is called Dreams or Yume in Japanese. It's a collection of 8 small short movies with the theme of like dreams. It's very oniric. And the
Mm,
second short movie, it's about Hina Matsuri.
mhm,
And I won't go through the whole story, but the climax of that movie is that they represented in real life the Hinamatsuri display, so with actors and everything that they dance with music and stuff.
mm,
So you have this this small hill which is separated into steps, and on every step you have all the characters from the Hina Matsuri that they are in live action, and it is quite a sight. So if you cannot make it to Gajoen or to Yanagawa this year, you can still watch Dreams from Akira Kurosawa, and then you will still have a little bit of a hint into the interest and the spectacularity of Hina Matsuri. So definitely the recommendation of
Wow.
this podcast.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. So I think we've tied it up quite nicely on the Hinamatsuri talk. You now have two places you can go to next year when you come to Japan. With your friends or with your significant other. Hoo. And if you're broke like me, don't got a lot of money, you now have a new movie recommendation that you can
Right.
go watch by the famous Kurosawa-san and Kurosawa Kantoku. And well, there's like 8 parts apparently, but watch the second one that has to deal with the
I mean,
Hinamatsuri.
you can watch everything.
If you're curious.
It's quite an
Oh, of
interesting
course,
movie,
yes.
but yes, the relevant part for this podcast is the second movie, which is related to the Hinamatsuri. Indeed.
You guys, you guys have been armed with the sauce, so
Mm.
now do with it what you will. Do what you will, and
Indeed.
yeah, I've learned quite a bit today.
I'm glad to do
And I
that.
hope you guys did as well. Yeah. Um, if you knew everything that Marty mentioned today about the Hinamatsuri, uh,
Kudos.
put that
Well
in the
done.
comment
Yes, well
section. Yeah,
done.
kudos. Yeah.
Share your
If
info.
you didn't know, if you did not know, if you were like me, one of the plebs, did not know anything or next to anything, just very basic surface level stuff about the Hinamatsuri, I'll put that in the comment section. Just comment what you learned. I learned a lot, to be honest, and literally the main function of the Hinamatsuri, that endured from its inception up until now, is the purification of the Kegare. And I had no idea that existed. That was a thing that I thought they just looked nice, and then people were just like, "Yeah, the Hinamatsuri, yeah, they're cute."
No, no,
Um,
no.
so now I'm gonna next time I'll talk about the Hinamatsuri with a Japanese person. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, did you know?
Did you
Did
know?
you know that they have the ability to purify the Kegare?" I'm like, "What?
What?
知らなかったでしょ?" Me too. I didn't know it either. Senshi right? I had no idea,
So
so
understand.
I'm gonna start bragging about my
Mm.
newfound knowledge.
Very nice, very
Most
nice.
definitely. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's almost, or I would say that's all for today. And that's everything we got for today, I think. Or, I mean, any closure? Do you want to share some other haiku with us today, or we can bid them a farewell? Could be a running
Um,
thing that
I don't.
you greet us like you.
I,
That,
honestly, it would force me to like come up with some type of new haiku each time we have a
mm,
record. You know what? I might
let's
start
do
doing
that.
that.
Let's do that.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Mm,
All right. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I do not have anything prepared, but I'm gonna make something up on the fly.
mm.
Um,
Let me check something.
Ina Hina Matsuri desu yo. Wait, 7. Oh, desu. Desu. Uh, yo na yo kegare o chi. Kirei onna no kochata. Chata.
Hoshi.
Chata. Okay.
Well tried. Well
We're
tried.
close enough. I'll
Close
come
enough.
up with something better next time. I'll come up with something better next time. something to invoke the senses and
Yes.
something that we can all relate to. Um, uh,
So this.
yeah, and that's all we got for you. Hope you guys
よろしく
enjoyed today's
頼みま
topic
す。
of Hina Matsuri. And
Well,
actually, yeah. Sorry, yeah. Go ahead, yeah.
we can go as per usual. Good morning, good day, good night, and goodbye.
Goodbye.